Hello, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. And once I turn off this music, we'll get moving here. Okay, so what I want to do today is to give you a view into what I'm trading right now and the things that I'm looking at and what I'm evaluating. I'm often uncomfortable with sharing what I'm trading, the stocks that I'm trading, because there's a tendency for some people to jump in and buy what I'm already entered into. Please don't do that. Don't buy any of these just because I have entered into them. You've learned several things on how to evaluate the stocks, and make sure to use those evaluations to figure out what to trade. Now, you could take a look at my watch list and then take that and do your own analysis. Now, if you're not sure how to do that analysis and you're very new, that's okay. What you can do is you can take this YouTube channel and begin to watch the videos one by one, going back from the latest one onwards. Just work your way back one by one and watch each of the videos. And along with that, you can send me a message and tell me that you are just starting out and you would like to get some instruction, and I can help you with that as well. Please note that the things that we're learning are applicable through all markets, all countries. It doesn't matter. We, of course, are looking at the Indian stock market, but the principles are the same, trading pretty much anywhere in the world, any kind of a market as well. So we're using the one-day chart here, and I'm looking at Nifty 50 right now. And the Nifty is a representation of the Indian stock market, approximate representation. And it looks like it came near the all-time high sometime. It came near the all-time high sometime in December, I believe, November, December. Yeah, in December. And then got pushed back down. And then ever since the end of December, like the 22nd, it's been going sideways, as you can see right here. It's been going sideways. All right. Now let's go to the stocks that I'm holding right now. First one is Rama Steel Tubes. And this one, the reason I had entered was because, and always remember, every stock that you are holding, make sure that you're able to outline the reasons for your entry. Okay, the reasons for my entry was, before I entered, it was on an upward journey. As you can see, the highs are higher and higher and higher. All right, the lows are higher and higher and higher. It keeps going up. Now, you get, once in a while, you get several days of a sideways move and then move up, several days sideways, move up. And then here you have quite a long time sideways, and it dipped down and then it continued sideways. So I just consider all that sideways. But then there was a nice gap up, and it went way up here, and then worked its way back down again. And you can see that I have the all-time high written right there, which about 46.30 is the all-time high. I've set a target just below the all-time high to sell. Basically, I've put a GTT, which is good till canceled. It's an order to sell if it goes that high. All right, automatically. Now, your question might be, what if it goes even higher? Well, if it goes even higher than the target that I've set, then I will wait for it to cross the all-time high. If it crosses the all-time high, then I'll wait and watch and see if it retraces back down to the all-time high. And then if it bounces up again, if it does that, then I may enter the trade again after getting out at the target. All right, then I may enter the trade again. All right. So the other reason that I entered was that the 20-day moving average, which is the blue line, is above the 60-day moving average, which is the red line, and the 60-day moving average, both of those are above the 200-day moving average, which is the orange line. You see that? Okay, so that's my analysis. All right, so that's the reason I entered. But the only problem with my entry was that it was too close to the all-time high. All right, so that means if I get to my all-time high from here, I'm looking at a profit of, well, if I get to my target, I'm looking at a profit of 26%. All right, that's not bad. And in hindsight, I should have set this target earlier and I would have gotten out here and made a nice profit. Instead, I actually did not recognize the all-time high. That was my mistake. That was the mistake that I made. I didn't recognize that it was at the all-time high. I had not drawn that line. And this was a new company that I had not traded this yet. And therefore, I let it go back down, thinking that it would go up again, after a few days. See, like this green, which what happens is the 20-day moving average often acts as a support and a resistance as well. And I was thinking and hoping that it would go up, but no, it didn't. All right. And so always remember, when you're near the all-time high, I personally like to set a target there and just get out. And then just watch and see if it crosses the all-time high, then I may enter again. All right. These are some of the evaluations. So I want to make sure that the 20, 60, and the 200 pattern is there. I want to make sure that the highs are higher and higher, the lows are higher and higher and higher, which shows an upward trend. Okay, both of these are important factors for an upward trend. Something else you could do, which is a bit more, makes it more difficult to find these kind of stocks, is to look at the weekly chart as well. All right, so that means each of these candles are a 1 week candle. Each of these candles represent 1 week of prices. That's what that means. All right, so even on the weekly chart, that same thing is true. Look at that. The highs are higher and higher and higher. The lows are higher and higher and higher. And the 20-day moving average is above the 60. 60-day moving average is above the 200. Looks good on the weekly chart. Now, what about the monthly chart? Okay, now the monthly chart also, it looks good. All right, the 20-day moving average is above the 20-month moving average is above the 60-month moving average, and we don't have a 200-month moving average because that would be like over 15, 16 years, and this stock has not been trading that long. That's fine. So all of these factors look good, okay, for Rama Steel Tubes. But the only problem was that it was too close to the all-time high. And at one point, I was at a very good profit levels with this, and then it has gone down, okay? Why am I still holding on to this? Why didn't I get out? Well, because, first of all, I had set my stop loss right here, and I'm going to wait until that stop loss gets stopped out. That's the one thing. And the next stock that I go to is FACT, another one that I am trading for the first time. All right, if you notice, here's my entry, but before my entry, look at the price movement. All right, the highs are higher and higher and higher and higher. The lows are higher, higher, and higher. That's one indication for me that it's an upward trend. The second is that the 20-day moving average is above the 60-day moving average, and both of those are above the 200-day moving average. All right, all of that looks good, but same thing with this stock, I was too close to the all-time high. All right, now, so therefore, it went up there and it retraced back down. So I've set my target just below the all-time high. You see that right there? All right. So I may not be making as much of a profit when I get to my target, from my entry point, about 15%. That's all. Okay, which is fine. But I yeah, which is fine. But this is something that I want to be watchful about, because if I'm going to enter, I also want to watch out for the all-time high. And so if I'm going to enter one with an all-time high, I probably should set the target below that to sell and get out. All right. And so this is what's going on with this one. But of course, I have my stop loss here. And if it goes down to the stop loss, I will not move the stop loss. I'm just going to let it go. All right. And take the loss. All right. The next one is RVNL. All right. All right. Some similar things here. Now, do we look at the monthly and weekly charts for the FACT? All right. Let's look at that and see if it's good in the weekly and the monthly chart as well. Let's try. All right. The weekly. Look at that. The weekly, you have the 20-day moving average above the 60 and the 60 above the 200. So that looks good on the weekly. But what about the monthly? Okay. The monthly. All right, it looks good on the monthly as well. Look at that, 20, 60, 200, 20-month moving average, 60-month moving average, and the 200-month moving average as well, okay? And as you can see, the month of December was a huge bullish time for FACT. Okay, now we go back to the daily chart, and then we'll go to the next stock that we're looking at, RVNL. All right. RVNL also is in the same pattern, the 20. And of course, you see the upward movement before I entered there. And then you had the 20, 60, 200 pattern. That's also there. But look at the all-time high. So it had gone up to the all-time high, and it retraced down, and it's just been going sideways. Okay, so here's my entry, and here's my stop loss, and I've set the target now. Okay, so I had not, these are new stocks that I had traded. I had not been paying that much attention to the all-time high. Now I have drawn them, and so it's there for me. That's RVNL. Let's look at the weekly and monthly charts and see if it's any good on those. All right, here it is on the weekly chart. It looks like the 20-day and 60-day is good, but then we don't seem to have a 60, 200 week moving average. It's not available. So then the monthly also may not be available. But let's see what the monthly looks like. All right. See, not much is available on the monthly. So up to the weekly, this also looks good. RVNL is looking good. All right. So I've set my target and plan to get out. And normally now, if I'm going to enter a trade, if I'm this close to the all-time high, I would not enter it. Okay. Because look here. All right. I'm only looking at a 12% profit there. And so I may try to avoid such companies. Okay. No problem. Or such movements. Star Cement is another one. All right, that I entered and then quickly came down. And let's look at where the all-time high is. I think there's still ways to go. There it is. All right, there's the all-time high. There's ways to go, and this is still good. And as you can see, all right, I was entering here and with an upward momentum, and this had just broken out. All right, a good timing. And the 20, 60, 200 pattern is there. And there's my entry. But then, as you can see, it went down and it has been going sideways, and I'm watching it carefully, and I have my stop loss set. To be honest with you, it only takes me 5 minutes to go through all of these. Then, not even 5 minutes, by the way, maybe 1 minute to look at my holdings. All right. So look at the weekly chart. All right. The 200, 60, and the 20, 60, and 200 are in the proper pattern, except the 60 and 200 are very close. And but then if it continues to move up, then it would be good for that pattern. All right. Then there's my target near the all-time high. Okay. So that's what's going on with Star Cement. And the last one on my list is Zomato, which is something that I'm just it's been a headache for me. I entered arbitrarily without sufficient thought. And so I'm in huge loss right now, but I'm just holding on. It is the opposite and of the pattern that we are looking for. Okay, so these are the for 5 shares, 5 stocks that I'm holding on to. And then I think I've explained to you the reason for my entry and the reason for staying in it and what I'm looking forward to it doing in the near future. Okay, so of course, always remember we cannot predict the future at all, but these indicators give us a clue of what the future may look like. So when I look at Zomato, it looks terrible. Look at that. Okay, look at the pattern, opposite of what we have been looking for. All right. And I hope that all of you are doing well. I hope you're enjoying this. And those of you doing that 60-day challenge, the 60 days will be at the end of this month. You don't have to sell everything out at the end of the month. You can still hold if you want. But the key, the idea behind this challenge is so that you can stay focused, okay, not be going in different places. All right. So I hope that this benefits you. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Thank you. God bless you.